Over 500 million Australian dollars were raised for the cause of the Australian bushfires. A large percentage through online donations, the most well-known being Celeste Barber's Facebook fundraiser. It's been around 22 years since the first Donate Now button appeared on the World Wide Web. It took a while to gain traction, but today, online fundraising is growing. There are private fundraisers where people raise money for unexpected medical bills, crowdfunding campaigns for launching a product, service, or maybe a film. And there are volunteer organizations, charities, and not-for-profits which get a portion of their donations from online fundraising. In recent years, concerns have been raised about how charities in particular spend the money they raise through donations. Will it reach the people or cause as advertised? Will it reach them quickly? A few organizations have been discovered to have high administrative costs, which eat away at the donated money. This episode's guest is leading an organization that's trying to solve this problem in the world of giving.
My name is Pascal Adolf. I'm the CEO of Benojo. Benojo has effectively built a fundraising platform that is looking to give away for free to all charities, all non-for-profits. We're experts in technology, and we're looking to provide a way that small organizations and charities can access huge amounts of technology. We're effectively looking to bring some administrative costs in an industry that's criticized for that down to zero.
What can we do? In this podcast, I speak with those who are putting their ideas into action, focusing on the good they can do for their neighbors, communities, citizens, and the world. Pascal Adolf will explain the function of Benojo's platform, why its work is important, and the challenges the organization faces. Pascal is relatively new to the not-for-profit sector. He followed his father's footsteps into a finance career on what he calls a traditional path. Pascal made the transition from the finance to the not-for-profit sector after witnessing how his corporation reacted to a staff member's death.
People in the organization didn't really react in the way that I thought they should have. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, what am I doing? There's a lot of pain in the world. There isn't many things in life that's real. I've been a victim of it where you get tied into consumerism and you're buying things to think, well, if I buy a barbecue, maybe I'll have that picturesque friends round, or if I buy a car or a watch or something, I'm going to be within a group of people and I'm going to enjoy society in a certain way. But it's all fake. The real thing that we do is we support someone.
Pascal came to realize that many of us are bound to jobs that we don't want to do because of fear.
I think fear brings us into parts of the world. I was working because I got a mortgage, I increased my debt, and you've got this fear of saying, well, if I can't service my debt, I'm going to be out on the street or, whatever nightmare that people envision.
Pascal had to break out of this fear and help people. He quickly understood what he could do.
So my move across wasn't saying I want to leave corporate. It's more about I want to use my skill sets, the stuff that I'm really, really good at, for good. I'm a fantastic negotiator. I love negotiating. I'd rather negotiate things for charities or non-for-profits rather than do it for a billion-dollar company. So it's more about understanding where are you good, what value can you add to an organization, and then pushing that agenda in order to support a system.
So what exactly is Benojo? And why is the work they do important?
The work that Benojo does is incredibly important because we're trying to support a part of an industry that's often left out. So a lot of people talk about the administrative costs of charity. First thing is we're bringing individuals together in one place. You've got a profile right now for your Facebook that's all about your social. You've got a profile right now for your LinkedIn, which is all about your commercial role. And then you're going to have a Benojo profile for your good. So we want to bring people together and make it easier for people to support. You can jump on your Benojo profile, find a charity in one place, transact very, very quickly, and then get on with your day. It's really, really easy. There's a report for tax time. The second thing is all about cost. So right now, Benojo charges $0 to be on the platform, but the financial cost for other platforms sometimes are up to 9%. So we charge $0 for the platform, for the technology, and the pass-through fees are hopefully going to brought down to 1%. So that means that when you provide $100 via your credit card to a charity, $99 of it gets there. So we're trying to solve an efficiency problem in the fact of, one person doesn't just donate to one charity. We like to get involved in most. And how do you follow it? How do you stay in touch? You can do that via Benojo, all in one area. And the second part is, how do we reduce fees?
Benojo isn't just intended for individuals.
One of the ways we try to raise funds is we've also built a workplace giving platform where we charge corporates a cup of coffee a day per employee for the year. So it's extremely cheap. It's about $6 a year. And they get full functionality. So that's everything between dollar matching, donations, workplace volunteering, grants management, you name it, payroll giving. And you can automate it. You can do things manually. And we've got organizations from huge sort of billion-dollar banks using us all the way through to, small law firms. And it's really quite exciting. And that's one of the ways that we try to raise some revenue. The platform as a whole is effectively trying to build capacity and reduce costs, giving waste.
Benojo has a laser focus on ensuring that no money gets diverted from doing good.
At Benojo, we're not trying to be right, we're trying to be effective. We're really trying to be efficient and valuable, because when people donate their time, when charities are operating, we know that there isn't a lot of time, there isn't a lot of money, and we don't want to be wasteful with those resources.
They also go one step further and educate organizations and donors on how to make the most significant impact.
In our organization, we have an impact specialist, and it talks about how to go beyond the dollar. I spoke to a gentleman the other day. He makes a lot of money, and he said to me, look, I've got $300,000 I want to give away. And he called a few charities, and he was annoyed because he realized the administrative fee is 12% or 20%. And he was like, no, I want my $300,000 to go directly to the people that's needing it. Well, it costs money. Someone has to take your money and do something with it, because he said they should be doing it for free. But a volunteering based, it doesn't work. You need to have a consistency in your staffing in order to be efficient. And I had to explain to him about, well, if you really want your $300,000, you can often find some equipment that they need, and you can go and purchase the equipment, then donate the equipment rather than giving the money. But if you want someone else to go and purchase it, there's going to be a cost. This is like, 101. He would have been better off talking to someone like us, where we could have explained the impact between different charities. So he saw, oh my God, there's 12% worth of administrative costs. What he doesn't realize is his $300,000 could have advanced cancer research by 1%, or that $300,000 could have clothed and supported, God knows, 20,000 homes. If he understands what his money is doing from an impact perspective, he'll be less concerned about the percentage. There are a lot of people that are trying to do good, and we're trying to harness that into a marketplace where we capture people wanting to do good.
There are people who might say there should be more funding and government support so that charities don't have to turn to fundraising platforms. Pascal believes that the commercial market should step up.
And I think it's a bit of a cop-out, because there is support that needs to be done, but also I think the commercial market needs to step up and support as well. So we've effectively taken a lot of money, millions and millions and millions of dollars, and we've built a digital platform to ultimately do things. One, to build capacity in the non-for-profit, and two, to reduce the cost. Now, should the government be doing that? I believe they should be investing in organizations like ourselves to truly support the ongoing, the long term of the market.
However, getting investment to allow them to scale their operations and services isn't easy for a company like Benojo, based in Australia. Compared to the US, Australia is pretty small, so attracting support of funds like the companies in Silicon Valley will be extremely difficult. Pascal believes that investment would pay off in a huge way, not for the company, but for the charities and not-for-profits on the platform.
A very good example of when Benojo and what we're trying to do in terms of change. We're Australia's only cheapest end-to-end foundational platform, right? So the example is that someone came from a very similar sort of ticketing or volunteering system where they were raising money, and they were taking around 10%. Now they build housing in Cambodia, So what they do is they go around, this gentleman flies around the world, he goes to different corporates and says, look, I need 3,000 US, and then once you raise it, I need you guys to jump on a plane and come and build it. He came across to us and he said, you've reduced my fees by almost 10%, which is 300 US. And we thought, that's great, we're really happy. And then he came in and he told us, it's really moving. He said, but the thing is, I support people on $1 a day. So he does 40 houses a year, and you can imagine 300 per house. It's 300 additional people he can support. So when you hear that, you think, wow, that's the impact that Benojo has.
As the CEO, Pascal has his fair share of challenges.
So some of the common challenges that Benojo faces is a few things. Because we're not taking lots of money from charity, we have very, very small budgets, which means that advertising is really expensive. So we don't have the ability to reach people. We're doing really, really, really good things, but we just don't have the ability to reach the market in a way that we want to. So we've got to effectively build a company on the organic growth. The second is obviously cash flow. I mean, this platform costs almost $2 million a year to keep alive. We're really, really lucky that we have supporters that help us keep the lights on. We've got 195 corporates paying a small fee and collectively. By providing technology, the problem with all of this is that there's an easy way to make money using technology, and we're not going down that path. We're going down the right path, the difficult path, to provide technology for people looking to do the right things. That's, towards zero, looking to get a zero cost with sponsorship effectively, is people love the idea, but it's the application of it. So once we get to a certain size, I can then hire a very strong labor force to go out and tell the story.
Still, Pascal is convinced that Benojo is where he's meant to be.
When Benojo goes to market, they love us. We've got a very dynamic staffing where we're all crazy, effectively. I mean, we wake up in the morning and I look at the people we all work with, and we're all crazy because we wake up in the morning and we decide to change the world, and how we're going to get there, God knows. And people love that. We go to corporates, they think we're nuts, and they love the energy. They love the audacity to succeed and hope in an area of good.
Pascal has big plans for Benojo.
Again, we've got 800 charities on there. We've got 18,000 registered, i.e. if you're a corporate and you want to, sort of do offline donations, etc., you can. We've got 35,000 people, and we're growing by about 14 charities a month. What does that all mean? It means that we're growing, but we're not growing fast enough, or to my liking anyway. And I think that the future for Benojo is one where we make the world a better place. I know it's probably a throwaway line. People think it's a lot of BS, but we really think that. The more we grow, the more influence we have in the market, the better this world is going to be, right? Because we're going to be wasting less, and we'll be building better capacity in the non-for-profit. I think the non-for-profit's this amazing space full of all different types of people wanting to do good. And we are just catalysts, right? We are literally putting fire, or petrol to the fire of good. It's really, really exciting. So the future for us is to obviously have a larger presence in the Australian market. We want to expand to New Zealand. And overseas to the US and to the, sort of UK. We've already got people knocking on our door saying, please come across. But we're just trying to finish off our Australian market, make sure all of our T's are crossed, all our I's are dotted. And then we're gonna try to scale.
Pascal is committed to his journey with Benojo. He believes society needs it.
For me, I just think I'm very lucky to be where I am. What happens if places were traded? So if I was that person on the street, who would help me get better? And I often think, well, I want to be part of that change. I want to be part of the reason why people pull themselves out. Because as humans, we're all flawed. Everyone knows that. We've all made mistakes. I'm sure you have. But the mistakes that you've made hasn't ended up on the street. Think about it. For people listening anyway, if you've got a car now and you've got a mortgage and life is pretty good, what are the moves to make between today and being out on the street? It's not much, right? One slip. There should be not necessarily equality, but there should be every single human on this planet should have the ability to enjoy it. And the minimum fundamentals of food, shelter, happiness and social. And I mean, that should be around for everyone. So you've got this army of people trying to do good in the non-for-profit space. And I think the rest of us who are privileged, need to support. And if you're not supporting, start somewhere. So give $5 a month away. You won't feel that for some people. Give 1%, 10%, I don't know. Just start somewhere, because remember, if 10 people are giving $10 away, that's better than one person having to find a lot of more money.
For the people out there who might be considering a move similar to Pascal's, this is what he has to say.
Leaving a really good job, well-paid job, moving to a non-for-profit where there's a lot of unknowns was scary. And there are people in non-for-profits that earn really nice money because they're doing really good things. So it's not a financial decision. It's one that represents change. If you're at work collecting a paycheck, you've got to reconsider what you're doing. My whole mantra is, what difference have I made on this planet? The non-for-profit space doesn't owe you anything. So you've got to come with an idea, a practical idea of what value you're going to add.
Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard, please rate or follow this series on whichever podcast service you're on. Another great way to support this series is to follow it on Facebook or Instagram. Just search for What Can We Do Podcast. You can visit www.whatcanwedopodcast.com, where you can learn more about each episode's guests, check out previous episodes, and get in touch with me. What Can We Do is an independent podcast series produced and edited by me, Prema Menon. The script editor of this series is Lisa Nadolski, and the audio you hear has been sweetened by Nicholas Allaire.